Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It's Saturday again and so we're doing another top 5 today. Last week I talked about which 5 infantry guns I think are the best in Battlefront 2. And so naturally we're talking about the 5 worst infantry guns in Battlefront 2 today. I do want to say that this list is completely based on my opinion, so if you don't agree, leave a comment down below. Also, the starter guns for the 4 classes are not included in this list because those aren't comparable to the other weapons, since they don't have any upgrades. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hope you enjoy. Oh, and if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you do not like the content, please say so in the comments down below and why, because I would like to improve my videos. Thank you in advance. Number 5. The CR2. Yes, of all the guns in Battlefront 2, I rank the CR2 as number 5 of the worst guns in the game. A lot of people are not going to agree with this, but I don't care. The CR2 was by far the best gun when the game was released. It had the same fire rate as it has now, but a way better range and damage output. Because of these things, the CR2 was extremely overpowered and so the community immediately asked for a nerf. DICE heard our prayers and therefore the CR2 was nerfed in the first after launch update of the game. And since that update, the CR2 has not been touched. Nowadays, the CR2 has literally the worst range of all guns in the game. And it's spread so bad that if an enemy is not in your face, it is almost impossible to hit them. And if you by a miracle hit them, it would literally not even matter, since over range this gun does 8 damage per shot. 8 damage. It would take 19 hits to take out an enemy with 150 HP. It is just nuts. I know this gun is made for close range combat, but nonetheless that is just absurd. However, at close range, this gun is pretty good, especially when you get used to it. It has a really good fire rate, and when you equip the right upgrades on this weapon, you can literally melt through people. And since a lot of maps in Battlefront 2 are made for close combat, it is still a pretty good gun. All these reasons together make it our number 5 today. Number 4. The FWMB 10K. What to say about this gun? It is just super average and it doesn't excel in any situation. The FWMB can be used in close, mid and long range, what sounds really good in theory, but this is everything but the case in reality. You can better use the DC-15LE for all these cases, since it literally has the same range and spread as the 10K, but then the DC also does 6 more damage per second. This doesn't sound like a lot, but in Battlefront 2, every single damage point counts, and so you are better off using the DC. This doesn't mean that the FWMB is a really bad gun. It's quite okay actually. It has a good range and okay damage. The fire rate and spread are a little bit weaker than most guns, but in the grand scheme of things, it's an okay gun. But for Battlefront 2, okay is not enough. A gun needs to be unique, fast and deadly to do good in this game. A lot of things happen at the same time. Chaos is king in this game. And for that reason, you will need a practical, fast gun that can fire at any time, at any range, at your opponent. The FWMB just doesn't have this, and together with the other points, it makes our number 4 today. Number 3. The Blug 1120. Another fallen god weapon on this list. Like the CR2, the Blug was one of the best weapons in the game on release. It had a good range, insane damage, and it was overall a really good gun. Unlike the CR2 though, this gun didn't get nerfed one time, but 4 separate times. It's probably the most nerfed gun in the entire game, and after the last nerf during the Geonosis update in 2018, this gun was literally just trash. It had 0 range, very few damage, and compared to a weapon like the SE-44C, it was literally a pea shooter. For over a year, nobody used this gun, since it was just so bad. But then, DICE finally decided to do something about it in one of the last updates of the game. They increased its close range damage a little bit, and because of that, the gun became a bit more usable in close range. Still though, it is super bad past close range and so not very flexible. Compared to guns like the SZ44C and the DL18, which are usable in every situation and range, the Blurk becomes a not usable option as a gun. Nonetheless, a few people can take this weapon up to a level where it can challenge those pistols in close range, hence why it is not on number 1 today. Also, the next two guns are just so bad that I couldn't put the Blurk above them. Number 2, the A280 CFE. Of all the guns on this list, this is probably my most hated one. I absolutely hate this weapon. I think its damage is bad, its range is bad, and that there are just way better options if you want to play with the Specialist, even for close range. And I have to say, it is probably with all the weapons of the Specialist, by the way. Battlefront 2 is just not made for snipers, since almost all the maps are in close range. And even on maps made for snipers like Geonosis, Hoth and Crate, I'll rather play with a long-range assault rifle like the EL-16HFE than with a sniper, cause it's just way more versatile. Added to this fact, the CFE is just a really bad gun. I've never been able to outgun another sniper with this weapon at long range, and even in close range sniping, what this sniper is made for, there are just way better options even in the weapon roster of the Specialist. I would prefer an IQA 11 or M242 over this gun on any day of the week, and so I personally never play with this weapon. Well, if it's so bad, why isn't it on the number 1 spot then? To be honest, even though I absolutely hate this weapon and think that it is just trash, I have seen people destroy with this gun, and so I think that it would be unjust to put it on the number 1 spot today. Hence why it is our number 2 spot. Number 1. The Cycler Rifle. Of all the guns on this list, I think this was probably the most predictable one of them all. Where to begin with this weapon? The Cycler Rifle just has so many negative sides to it that it is almost a joke. First of all, it is the only weapon in Battlefront 2 that has a bullet drop, meaning that over range the bullets go down and so you have to adjust your aim to hit someone. Added to that, a headshot, what is pretty hard to hit, only does 143 damage, and so you can't one-shot someone, what is kinda crucial to make a sniper a good gun. Lastly, it doesn't shoot through shields. For those who don't know, the Battlefront 1 version of this gun could shoot through shields, since it shoots slugs instead of heated gas. This made it one of the most unique guns in the game and also a very good gun. But the Battlefront 2 version of this weapon can't do this, and so it just became another useless sniper, what I really think is a pity. Why? Well, I personally actually love the Cycler Rifle. From the sound to how it shoots, I love it. But because it's so weak and not unique, I barely play with it, to my biggest regret. All these facts together make it our number 1 today. Oh, and before we go to the last part of this video, I once made a video about how I think the Cycler Rifle should work. So if you're interested in how I think DICE can make the Cycler Rifle a good gun, click on the white eye icon in the top right corner of the screen to find the link to that video. But that was the video for today. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you by the next video. Bye!